Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I finally got to sit down and watch A Fall from Grace by Tyler Perry. And
you know what? Anyway,
I have some thoughts. Let's get started. Now, this is his first Netflix film. I actually didn't realize that until he said it in a few interviews. I would not say that this movie was highly anticipated because the trailer didn't really come out until a week or two ago. And as a viewer, I didn't really see the trailer until I was on social media scrolling and I was looking at what people were talking about, and I saw that it had dropped on Netflix's main page, the trailer, and I watched the trailer and I thought it was quite interesting.
When you wake up, you don't know that today will be the day to change your life.
What did he do to you?
I've been so lonely since my divorce. I want to love somebody, I want to be loved.
You need to get the hell out of this house and meet somebody.
You have to see these in the right light. And the best lighting in the room is right here.
From the trailer specifically, I got a lot of what I needed to know about the movie. Let me give you a quick rundown of what the movie is about so that there's no spoilers when I get into the actual review and my thoughts on the movie as a whole. Because trust me, I have a lot. The movie is about a woman who is brokenhearted. Her husband left her and she's a little lonely, and she meets a man eventually who sweeps her off her feet, who woos her, who just falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him, and it's happy-go-lucky, happy days, and it's great until it's not. And things happen, situations occur, and all hell breaks loose, and we're watching the hell breaking loose, basically. Things start to unfold, secrets get revealed, things are uncovered. It's a whirlwind, so you really needed to fasten your seatbelts for this one particularly. Now let's get into this tea, because it is piping hot, okay? Like I had said before, originally I had seen the trailer scrolling through Twitter, and when I was watching the trailer, I saw that Cicely Tyson and Felicia Rashad were going to be in the movie, and of course, I'm interested because those are two legendary Black actresses, and they do amazing movies and have amazing catalogs of work. I mean, Felicia Rashad is Claire Huxtable. Come on, who doesn't want to watch Claire Huxtable? So that was originally why I was interested. Now, for this particular TP movie, I was kind of also hesitant because I had just recently seen Acrimony. Acrimony, yes. I have thoughts about that movie. It's not my favorite. It left a bad taste in my mouth, like I said. So going into this movie, I was very much like, this is not, I don't know if this is gonna be the one, because the plot line seems very similar, but all of his plot lines in these movies are very similar, and that's some of the critiques that people have of Tyler Perry, is that he recycles storylines. But in watching the movie, it wasn't that bad, but it wasn't the greatest at the same time. You know what I'm saying? For instance, I love movies like Medea's Family Reunion. I love Daddy's Little Girls. I love Meet the Browns. I love most of the plays. So I don't really have a problem with Tyler Perry's content. It's just his recent movies and TV shows that I have a problem with. I feel like they're a little hastily made, if that's the right word. To be honest, they seem a little rushed. And when I was watching interviews like with Brescia Webb, who plays the lawyer in this movie, and I saw that she had said that the movie had actually been made in 5 days. 5 days.
And honoring that. Did they give you advice while you guys were filming scenes, being that you worked with these iconic women?
Felicia Rashad.
I mean,
Cicely Tyson.
We filmed this movie in 5 days. Wow, in 5 days?
5 days.
That's
Wow.
a grind. That is a grind.
What was that shift like?
You just
I
do
can't
it.
believe that. That's crazy.
I mean, was it 10-hour shifts, 20-hour shifts? What did y'all stop for 5 days?
I mean, we got
a movie made in 5 days, I'm not expecting it to be the greatest. That's actually what happened. It wasn't the greatest edited movie. It wasn't the Let's get back to the review. Now the start of the movie. The movie starts with a older white lady, and she's standing on the ledge or on the edge of a house, and it's a police officer begging her to get back into the house. And she jumps, ouch, I heard. She jumps, she commits suicide, and it's a whole big thing, So she falls, and I was originally confused because I'm like, okay, she's falling, she's jumping. What is happening? Am I watching the right movie? What is going on? Turns out that was one of Grace's, I guess, trapeze. That was one of Grace's old slaves. Not Grace's, one of Sarah's old slaves. Yeah. Didn't make sense to me. But yeah, so we get back into the present and we meet Jazz. Jazz is the lawyer for Grace. My thoughts on Jazz. Jazz is the worst lawyer I have ever seen in my life. On television, in real life, she's a bad lawyer. They characterize her as a bad lawyer, and she is one. She only takes plea deals. She doesn't really fight for her clients. She's a public defender. She doesn't really try. She's just doing it just to do it. I don't know why you are a public defender / lawyer and you don't want to actually do what your job is, but that's neither here nor there, because in the end, she saves Grace. So we meet Jazz, and then we meet Jazz meeting Grace, who was in the jail, and she's meeting her in her jail gear. Her hair is all crazy, and she just looks disheveled in the face, and it's a mess. She's a mess. She doesn't really look like she wants to be there. She just looks timid and scared. It looks like she just wants to get all this crap over with. This whole situation, when watching the storyline, and you get to see Grace's character develop when she has the flashbacks, when she's telling Grace her story, she's characterized as a woman who's very bitter. I don't really like those type of storylines anymore because we've seen it so much. I really wish that we didn't see stories where women just wanted to go on revenge tirades to get back at their ex-husband who moved on and is just bitter about her life right now. But when we see Grace, she's meeting this man who is Sarah's son. And Grace, I guess you could say she's naive. No, she's very naive. Grace was naive in this situation. They moved very quickly. Her and what's his name? Solomon, whatever his name is. His name really Shannon, that's his name. They move on very fast. Their relationship develops very quickly. They get rushed into things. She's wooed, like I said, and it's all a big situation, and she's just in love. But my problem with it is because with the situation, or with the storyline, I guess, is the fact that this all could have been avoided. I feel like it could have been avoided. But that's a storyline problem. That's not a writer's problem. That's a problem with me having a problem with the whole situation of the movie. The movie as a whole is a great storyline. But Grace getting in this situation, we've seen that with other movies that TP has made, where a woman is getting in a situation that she does not need to be in, and is just moving in naive ways. So again, Sarah tells Grace to go out with her son. We are not supposed to know that that is her son until later in the movie, but this is a recap, so you should already know that. She goes out with him, like I said, they have a good time, and everything's great. So when we get later into the story, we come to find out that Sarah and her son Shannon are trapping old people, and that Sarah is tricking Grace into dating her son so that she can get trapped as well. I guess she money launders, her and the son money launder, and they trap old people so that they could take the money from them. That's a lot. It seemed a little bit unrealistic, but again, I followed and everything was great. Towards the end of the movie, however, everything gets uncovered and there's a whole bunch of flashbacks and things are connecting, and Jazz as a lawyer is starting to realize that, hey, maybe Grace is innocent, maybe Grace is not the one that actually killed this man, because the man had just disappeared and we never actually found him. Of course, we know that Grace then called, after she beat Shannon with a bat, she did not divest of the body. She did not wash her hands. She didn't try to hide that she had killed him. She just drives off, and then she calls Sarah, and Sarah goes to the house, and Shannon just disappears by Sarah's story when she's in court, and by the flash forwards and flashbacks. That's what we get from the story. Again, that doesn't make any sense, because I don't know how she just went from I hate you to I want to beat you with a bat and kill you. That is a very severe jump in a story from a woman who's never killed someone in her whole life, and all of a sudden this middle-aged older woman just decides to kill a man with a bat and then not divest of the body, and just thinks that driving away is going to be the thing that saves her. Her friend Sarah, who's not really her friend, tells her that it just is just telling her story. She's just hustling her. The whole story is about Sarah hustling Grace into the situation, and Grace getting tricked and then going to jail, and her sitting there just suffering while Sarah is out there just living her best life with this money that she's stealing and with these little old slaves. So we also see spurts of Cicely Tyson in the movie. Cicely Tyson was not in the movie very much. She's just a timid old lady. She didn't really have a lot of words. She didn't really say much. But yeah, she's in the movie. It's great. It's Cicely Tyson. Felicia Rashad did a really good job in this movie. She's a great actress. She's not going to do bad in any movie. Let me get to the problem at hand. The honest problem, like I said, the story is fine. The honest problem with the movie is that it seems and is rushed. It was made in 5 days, and you can clearly tell. Throughout the movie, as I'm observing just the atmosphere and the sound and the look of the movie, it just looks rushed, and it looks like a film student at freaking NYU made this movie. I mean, the editing is not up to par with the standards of a man who is a owner of a movie studio who can afford to make an impeccable movie. It just wasn't, it was just little mistakes that I observed in the movie that just made me to get turned off from it. And it was the same silly mistakes that I saw in this movie that I actually saw in Acrimony that left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Like in this movie particularly, when they're drinking things, you can clearly see that there's nothing in the cups. Now, I know it's acting and sometimes we're not going to actually put stuff in the cups, but when you can clearly see the top of the cup and see that there's nothing in the cup, I think that that is an honest mistake that should have been seen by an editor and should have been cut out. In particular, there's a scene that went viral on Twitter where an extra is sitting in the diner while Shannon and Grace are having brunch, I guess, and the extra is pretending to drink, but there's no liquid in the cup. Now, the cup is also clear. So no one made the conscious decision or the conscious effort to think, hey, we're on camera. The extra can be visibly seen. There's no liquid in the cup, and it's a clear cup, and he's just gulping air, and everybody can see it. Also, he's pretending to take forksfuls of food and is literally biting air as well. And that is clearly seen. And the reason why it was so obvious, I think, is because the fact that the actual extra was looking into the camera multiple times while the scene was going on, and no one checked that when they were editing as well. There's other areas in the movie where you can clearly see people standing behind the camera or see microphones in the view in the scene where they're not supposed to be seen. That's supposed to be hidden. That's supposed to be edited out. Again, things that just clearly should not have been mistakes were clear mistakes. It's like Game of Thrones 2.0, where there's just clear mistakes that they just did not take an effort in doing and fixing in post or whatever they do when they edit movies. This hastiness really bothers me because of how these actors are in these situations that they do not choose. They cannot rewrite what they're doing. They cannot redo the wigs that they wear. They cannot fix things in the scene because it's not their movie. They are just helping get the movie made. I wish that these mistakes would not reoccur, but ever since watching Acrimony, I feel like the mistakes are clear and they're just not getting paid attention to by the writer, director, producer, and the person who makes the whole production by himself. That is another problem that I have with this movie. It is clear that one person wrote it. It is clear that one person directed it. It is clear that is a solo mind in this room creating this piece. Let me wrap this up because this is taking a long time for me to explain this. But overall, I think that the movie was pretty good. I think that it could have been way better. But the thing that I had the most problems with were just the silly mistakes and the fact that it could have been a more well-developed story and writing and just a better overall look. But that's just me. Let me know what you think. Comment down below how you felt about the movie. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel and like and share this video. We're growing. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I would give this movie needs a lot of improvement, but overall, it's alright. It's that little meme. It could have been better.